This week our drivers tackled the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve circuit, otherwise known as Portimao or the Portuguese Grand Prix circuit. As this circuit has very similar characteristics to Spain, to Barcelona, but has a lot more blind turns and a fair amount more of elevation change. The As per Spain normally is, the races weren't too eventful in terms of safety cars and things. I think there was two safety cars in Tier One and no safety cars in Tier Two. There were, however, plenty of on-track battles and plenty of strategic moves. Our resident Tier One driver, Brad, who has been quite unlucky this season. He's had a few good performances, but tends to get quite unlucky, unfortunately. What was this race like from your perspective?
Uh, Probably the most frustrating experience I've had in a long time.
Oh, that bad. Run us
Yeah.
through some of it. Obviously, in the end, where did you finish in the end?
Like P5 or P6.
P5, P6. I mean, you have shown in the past that you have got the pace to win. You are definitely, or should definitely be at the top end of the Tier 1 field, but just run us through a few events that happened in that race that maybe stopped you from getting that podium.
Start, I got a mega start.
As
Got
always.
past Langer before turn one, but he tried to hang it around the outside. He got, I think he spun on the curb or half spun. He hit into me. I then got an illegal overtake for it. Got a 5-second penalty. Then in Sector 2, Shaq decided to think it was a great idea to try and go all the way around the outside. Obviously, that's not going to work. We both get put into the gravel. I lose my front wing. I have to pit, serve my 5-sec, speed again.
Oh, yeah.
In no man's land for 14 laps on mediums. Finally, a safety car gives me a chance to box. Making my way up the field, doing some overtakes. Another safety car, I can't remember briefly, but there's another safety car. I think I pitted for mediums again, lost a few positions, and then there was another safety car on like lap 26, 27, half the grid pitted. I went from P8 to P3 from that safety car.
Wow.
But I just didn't have the pace to keep pushing. I was already on used tyres, so I was forced into a 3-stop. I just couldn't keep up with Stocky in the end. It's a shame because I've been practicing for this track. I've loved practicing for it.
Well,
I just couldn't get the result.
I mean, your home races in a few rounds. We'll see what that brings out of you. Hopefully, who knows? Maybe a win in the last 2 seasons. I don't think you've won on this game yet. Not in FRR anyway.
No, I haven't got a league racing win at all on F122. But it's a sprint weekend for Zandvoort. Yeah. So that's a lot of points on offer.
Yeah.
So we're looking to maximise.
I mean, you were saying about your used tyres. I'm not looking forward to the Tier 2 race. I'm pretty sure that if I end up stuffing up my strategy, I'm going to be forced into a 2 or 3 stop like yourself. The problem is they just don't last. The corners are they attack the tyres a lot, and they just don't last. It also doesn't help, but a lot of comparisons are made between Portimao and Barcelona. They're comparable, but I don't think there's that many similarities. Portugal is very up and
degradation. That's it.
Yeah, Portugal is very up and down, and there's a lot of blind corners that it catches a lot of people out. Whereas Spain is quite predictable. You can see most of the corners that you're attacking at. It's not as bad with like mid-corner undulation, but I don't know. It seems to bring out pace in different people.
Yeah,
definitely a welcome debut round for FRR, but we'll see whether or not it makes it onto next season's calendar.
It's up for debate.
Do you think it should be on next season's calendar?
I mean, I'd say it was a decent race overall, minus the safety cars. I don't see why it shouldn't be. It just depends if it flows with everything that's going on.
Yeah, that's fair. Have you got anything else to add, Josh?
No, not really. I think 3 safety cars is way too many.
You should have seen
we didn't have that many retirements, I don't think, either. There's only 2
I think
or 3.
13 people finished with an AI, so like 12 finishes. That's like 5 retirements / DSQs. Not too bad.
That's not too bad at all. So it was a pretty good race other than that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing an interview then.
Thanks for having me, boys.
No worries. Cheers. Have a nice rest of your evening.
Make a comeback at either Hungary or Zandvoort.
Oh, well, they're both tracks that I know you're strong at, so hopefully, if not a win, hopefully a podium's on the cards.
Yeah, I've got to get one this season. It's got to come.
So it was a pretty uneventful race from Tier 2 this week. A few yellow flags, but no safety cars, a few retirements. But we have Brewmaster here to talk us through his race. I believe he finished P4.
Say again, sorry? I missed that.
Right. So I think, was it P4 you finished in the race or P5?
Yeah, P4 in the end. It was close though.
It's not bad. You just missed out on a podium.
Yeah.
So why don't you run us through how your race went and maybe what you think you could have done to improve it?
Yeah, sure. I kind of disagree with you. I think it was an eventful race from my side, at least. Maybe not from others. Formation that it seemed like everyone was breaking up at the hill, and so I just couldn't see that, and so I hit Tom Lock in the back, which I'm sorry for. But yeah, the race came along, stayed in my position until I spun, and then from there it was just a comeback drive, and yeah, made a few moves, and then didn't get a delta when I was slowing down for the pit, so I had no idea if I was, slowed down enough, which was annoying, which gave me the 8 seconds worth of time penalties, and then I, in the final few laps, was trying to pull a gap on Wekaz to try and get the 8 seconds. I managed to pull like a second a lap, and it eventually got to 7 seconds, so just shy.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate. No, just missing out on a podium. I mean, P4 is still better than P8, so there is that, and it's also better than being the only car that was. I don't know. I think Harry must have got a few of you must have got lapped once, but I got lapped twice. So fun race. Oh well, at least I finished in the points, which is the main thing. I've sort of struggled for points this season. I haven't got the highs of last season, unfortunately. I mean, Haas finished, I think, P3 in the standings last season, but Williams will be lucky to get a P6 at this rate, I think. We'll have to see how attendance goes for the last, there's now 6 rounds left. That does bring us to the halfway point.
Yeah.
Would you like to add anything, Josh? Obviously, you watched on.
Yeah, that's pretty uneventful race, really. What are you hoping to achieve by the end of the season, then, Remaster? Obviously, very nearly a double and first podium for Ferrari this season. What are you looking to improve on? What are you looking to achieve by the end of the season?
Well, considering that I've joined pretty much halfway through the season, I don't think, even with my pace and results, I don't think I'll be fighting for the championship, but I'll be happy if I can get anywhere close. I definitely think top 5 could easily be on the cards if I just have a few good races with consistency. So I guess I'll aim for that and try and get a win, which I feel is not far from possible.
No, I would say it's not far. You came really close. I think it was France. You came incredibly close to winning at France.
I didn't do France. The only one I've done before was Japan, and I was leading in the last 2 laps, but I had a penalty.
So I think I might be thinking of a different race.
When I was pushing hard, I spun and died.
Yeah, it was Japan. I think I was thinking of maybe a race you did last season. No, we didn't. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think we did France last season. Oh, well.
I've been here a while, so I think...
Yeah, I mean, you sort of stepped in and out of a reserve role a fair amount, and obviously you're back now for now as a full-time Tier 2 driver. What was it that made you decide, I'm going to come back full-time and race Tier 2?
Mainly just I've actually found time to actually do the racing and everything, and plus it's quite fun racing in Tier 2. So quite enjoy it.
I mean, you've got some good competitors. I mean, you've got Nightowl, Vranga, Tom, Wekaz. Wekaz is very rapid, but I've said it in the past, he can be quite accident prone at some tracks and spinning it. Maybe not so much crashing into other people, but he can get very unlucky with spinning himself and stuff. But I think he seems to have ironed that out lately, which is quite good.
He didn't have the pace in this race, though. I hope you don't mind me saying.
No, it's okay. I mean, Portimao isn't many people's, or isn't a track many people are good at, so can't say much. But I mean, I was quite impressed, not with my race pace, but with my quali pace. I managed to find a second and a half up on what I was practicing earlier, so I don't know how I managed that, but quite impressed with that personally.
I didn't get much time to practice today, so I literally, just before the lobby opened, went around, got us set up, did 1 lap and joined. So
I mean,
I
don't worry too much about practice, because 9 times out of 10 I'll end up out, so there's not much point.
Yeah.
It's then a bit of a waste of time. I mean, unless you're almost guaranteed points and you're guaranteed that you're not going to crash out, then I see the point in practicing, but then I tend to have quite bad luck, so I also don't see the point.
Yeah.
I mean, somehow I didn't get damaged this race. I span it a few times and came incredibly close to the wall, but it was all right.
Although with Portimao, the track's very open, so I could see why. Yeah,
I mean, I think the place that I came closest to hitting the wall was 8, 9, 10, I think turn 11, the right-hander that then goes downhill to then swoop back up to the left. I just lost it, and my car didn't even spin. It just sort of steered in the direction of the wall. I just managed to save it. But I mean, I don't know what my car was doing today. Doing a Latifi moment, blame the car. I don't know if that was during the race or not. I think it might have been when I did a couple of laps of practice. I went into turn 1, and I was turning right, and my car just turned left. Which is always fun. It's not really what you want, but well, unless anybody else has got anything to add, I'd like to thank you for giving up your time to do a little interview with us, and we wish you all the best at Monza. Well, that's it for this week. We are trialing a few different types of ways for recording our episodes and our different segments. So the next few episodes will differ slightly in length and how their contents are laid out, as well as how the content sounds. So like this week, the Tier 1 recap, instead of having a recap that lasts a couple of minutes, then an interview with a previous winner or a driver, and then the Tier 2 recap for a couple of minutes, we've done the Tier 1 interview. We've done an interview straight after the race, which includes the recap along with the driver's perspective, and the same for Tier 2, straight after the race. And we're going to see how that works, and then we need to decide whether we do another interview in the middle or whether we come up with another segment that we can put in between. But thank you for listening. Make sure you come back next week and listen/watch our episode for Autodromo Nazionale Monza, or Italy. It's bound to provide some great racing. There's a lot of straight line speed, but also you need to get a stable enough setup through the corners. I'm sure it's going to be brilliant on track action. Come back next week.